Hello from ABA Tech Show 2019 in Chicago, Illinois. I'm Kelly Street.
Charity Anastasio.
Annette Sanders.
And we're on the road with Legal Talk Network. And we're back. Thank you so much for joining us on the road. It's a pleasure to be here in the medium-size Apple, I guess maybe is my new nickname for Chicago. Today, we are talking about the best tools for collaboration. To start things off, why don't I have the two of you introduce yourself a little bit? So, Charity, will you get us started and tell the audience just a little bit more about yourself?
Sure. My name is Charity Anastasio. As I said, I'm from American Immigration Lawyers Association. I am what you call a practice management advisor, so I work with immigration lawyers. They're just a little bit busy right now, so I'm trying to help them run their offices better in this crazy time.
And you, Annette?
Yes, Annette Sanders. I'm with Payne Group out of Seattle, Washington. However, I live in Palm Springs, California. A little bit warmer right now than it is here. And I am a senior trainer and migration specialist.
Awesome. I love it. So you guys, can you refresh my memory with the exact topic of your presentation?
It is collaborating with tools you know.
Ooh, and so
Yes.
what kinds of tools did you talk about in the presentation?
So we basically talked about the different ways that people can collaborate on documents online. And the suites that we see most often used are Google Docs and Office 365. So we spent a little bit of time on Google Docs, and then we went over and spent most of the time sharing a document online, being able to collaborate with multiple authors on that document in Word, in Office 365. And we went quite a bit into track changes. There was quite a lot of interest in track changes inside of Word. So
Yeah. And at my company, we use G Suite, and so we're collaborating on Google Docs. And I have to say, I think the track changes and the collaboration on Office 365 and their document systems are superior,
Yes,
much better.
Yeah.
And Charity pointed that very thing out.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely. You know, one of the reasons why we started with G Suite is because it seems to me that in the collaboration realm, Google has a one-up because folks started using Microsoft products before they really had collaboration. So they have to unlearn certain things if they're going to actually use it appropriately. And that's a little tough for people. So a lot of folks actually start collaborating in Google and don't even know that Microsoft has the features that it has. So we just wanted to make sure that folks knew both options, and then they can make a more informed decision.
Yeah, that's awesome. I also heard that you talked about video and collaborating on video a little bit. I'm extremely passionate about using video. We conduct most of our meetings via Zoom. So I don't know if you guys talked about that tool at all.
Yes, we did talk about Zoom. And as a matter of fact, when Charity and I were talking about doing the presentation, we actually used Zoom quite a bit, and some of our screenshots were even on the collaboration piece on Zoom. So it's nice because you can have video, you can show documents, you can be making edits right then and there, you can have multiple authors in using it. So it's a really great tool.
Yeah, you know, we mentioned there's other products out there that are great too. And Google Hangouts is available for the G Suite users still, even though they've gotten rid of the free version. And then, of course, you have GoToMeeting, you have Zoom, you have Skype, which actually integrates with all that Office 365 features. But, you know, we use Zoom too. And I'm a huge fan. I love that I can be able to see people's faces and reactions as we work through the document. It gives us an opportunity to have a real working meeting, where I insisted in our presentation that I would have saved 2/3 of the time it took me to work with my clients when I was practicing law and doing estate planning, because I used to have these conversations about the documents, then I'd take notes, then I'd go back and change the document, then I'd send it back to them again. And if I'd had Zoom, I could have done that whole thing in that one meeting.
Yeah.
It's really a brilliant tool.
I'm curious about the integrating the document into the Zoom meeting. Is that just through screen sharing that
Yes.
you're doing that? Okay.
Yes.
Right. Yes. Screen share, but then you still have them next to there so you can visually see their reactions, which I think is important when you're trying to keep a real beat on what your clients are experiencing and thinking about what you're doing. So.
Yeah. Is there any concern that lawyers would have about using Zoom with their clients as far as, I don't know, protection of data privacy or any of that? Maybe this is getting down a totally different rabbit hole, but I just always wonder about those things when they come up, if lawyers push back on that at all.
I was actually talking to Ben Shore, who's from Microsoft, about the issue of when they're doing something that ends up sending sensitive data from a document outside. And he said that, when data like that is happening, it's all live streaming, which would be very hard for anyone to hack into.
Yeah.
So it's really, unless it gets saved somewhere, it's really not an issue. And I'm not an expert by any stretch of the imagination, but that's my understanding. And I get that right from Microsoft folks. So
Got it.
Yeah.
Love that. Awesome. All right. Well, before we close out today, I just have one last question for you both. Where can our listeners get a hold of you if they would like to connect?
Okay, so my email address, this is Annette Sanders. It's super simple. Annette Sanders, all one word, @thepaingroup.com.
Great.
And as I said, I'm an American Immigration Lawyers Association, but honestly, just follow me on Twitter.
And what's your Twitter handle?
Charity ANAS.
Awesome.
Yep.
Well, we have reached the end of the road for today's episode. I want to thank our guests for joining us today. Thank you, Charity.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Annette. And we also want to thank our listeners for tuning in. If you like what you heard today, please subscribe, rate, and review us in Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or your favorite podcasting app. We'll see you next time for another episode of On the Road with Legal Talk Network.
If you'd like more information about what you've heard today, please visit LegalTalkNetwork.com. Subscribe via iTunes and RSS. Find us on Twitter and Facebook, or download our free Legal Talk Network app in Google Play and iTunes. The views expressed by the participants of this program are their own and do not represent the views of, nor are they endorsed by, Legal Talk Network, its officers, directors, employees, agents, representatives, shareholders, and subsidiaries. None of the content should be considered legal advice. As always, consult a lawyer.